to supplement your ashwagandha with food or without? That is the question for today's video, and I want to answer that for you in a second. So I recently put out this video talking about some strategies for optimizing your ashwagandha supplementation. Specifically, I talked about some of the best times and when to take ashwagandha, amongst a couple of other tips for, again, optimizing or enhancing the effects of that ashwagandha. Now, because that video got so much feedback, I decided to answer this particular question, which is, should you take your herbs, or specifically your ashwagandha, with or without food? Now, this is a common question, so I figured it'd be a good video to make, and it directly applies to KSM 66 ashwagandha, but a lot of the things I'm going to talk about in this video could be applied to most other herbs. So to get right to it, I would probably suggest, at least based on the research that's been done, as well as the basic functioning of the digestive system and how the body actually recognizes and absorbs supplements, that taking your ashwagandha with food would be a good idea. But this doesn't necessarily mean you have to consume a full meal or something and then have your ashwagandha later. This could also mean that you just take your ashwagandha in a tonic recipe, something like this, or one of the many recipes here on the channel where we're adding tonic herbs to the food. The major reason that we are always adding herbs to various recipes, other than it makes it enjoyable and tasteful, is that it's going to maximize the digestibility and the bioavailability of the medicinal constituents in that herb. So look at it like this. If you just take a powdered herb, down the hatch with some water, you can definitely do that. I definitely do that occasionally. You will still absorb some of the medicinal constituents. You could probably absorb most of them, especially if you're taking something like an extracted powder like KSM 66 ashwagandha, where it's highly bioavailable in the first place. However, you have to understand one of the major issues with most supplements and why most people don't tend to absorb them is that your body is not made to digest supplements or pills. Your body was made to digest food, which is why in TCM and Ayurveda, they emphasize the 5 flavors, because flavor is a medicinal part of the food and a medicinal part of the experience of eating food. And it can directly activate certain digestive enzymes and digestive fluid secretions to help you digest that food. This is why a lot of the times not only people do not digest or absorb any of their supplements, but a lot of the reasons why people who tend to eat very matter of fact and they sort of take any of the pleasure and joy out of eating also tend to run into digestive issues and struggles, because food is meant to be a pleasurable and enjoyable experience. If you just approach it robotically, that's good to be able to do that, but to only do that is going to be missing out on a big picture of eating and the whole health aspect of eating a good diet, which is that it should taste good and it should be enjoyable. But physiologically or scientifically speaking, it's been found that if you take your ashwagandha, or any herb probably for this matter, with food, you're going to enhance the digestibility, the bioavailability of it, because while you're eating food, you're triggering the release, again, of different salivary enzymes, as well as digestive enzymes and fluids, which will all enhance or maximize the absorption of that herb as well. Keep in mind that herbs are food. So the short answer is yes, I'd probably recommend consuming your ashwagandha, or any herb for that matter, with food. Again, whether that's after eating a meal, and just taking it with some water, or taking your pills with the food, or whether that's adding it to your food, like let's say consuming some sort of tonic recipe. Now, something else to keep in mind just while we're on this topic is that black pepper extract in clinical study has been found to be an overall drug enhancer, meaning that it enhances the bioavailability of medicinal constituents, whether that's from a medication or something like ashwagandha or turmeric, for those of you familiar with Ayurvedic medicine, as well as adding fat. So the combination of fat and black pepper with your herbs, ashwagandha and turmeric being 2 examples, will maximize the bioavailability of those constituents, which again is one of the major reasons we make these tonics. A lot of the tonics that we make have a fat base, be it high quality, non-homogenized cream, grass-fed butter, ghee, coconut oil, etc. That is there to enhance the flavor, as well as to maximize the medicinal qualities of whatever herb we're adding to it. But you can take it a step further and add a little bit of black pepper, or if you have black pepper extract, also referred to as pepperin, that will further enhance and maximize the absorption of all of those medicinal constituents in your ashwagandha. So to conclude, yes, I would consume your herbs with food to enhance the digestibility of them. Granted, you're not eating a ton of food, of course, so I think the most optimal way to probably go about that is, again, to consume a tonic beverage. And then in addition to that, I would throw in a little bit of healthy fat of some sort. And when I say healthy fat, I'm referring to those saturated fats, which are protective and not very volatile to oxidation. And if you want to, you can throw in a little black pepper. So what I do, and if you look at this recipe, is I tend to add my ashwagandha to a standard or traditional golden milk recipe to really maximize all of its benefits. So that's a personal way that I'll take it sometimes. But again, the most important thing is that you just take the herbs. But these are just a couple additional tips for getting the most out of your ashwagandha, and probably any herb for that matter. That's all I wanted to share with you in today's video. If you've enjoyed it and found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are new here and want to see more videos just like this. And of course, if you're interested in learning more about ashwagandha and all of its benefits, we have additional and various videos here on the YouTube channel you can check out, or you can head to our blog and our online tonic herb shop in the description box below.